Opie has Lyme disease. Did you know this? Opie has Lyme disease.
I didn't know that.
So he didn't do a live show since the one from the pub there, Gebhard's, that he did with the Pod Squad. So he just finally put out a new episode.
Well, I guess when you're out in the fucking Hamptons under a bridge in the weeds, doing your show, there's nothing but ticks and gnats around you. That's exactly what will give you Lyme disease.
He talks about how he's had multiple ticks just this year because this is he's podcasting from a deer den. Is that what they call them? I don't even know.
Oh my God. It's about time a parasite sucked shit out of him.
So this is Opie. He finally does a new episode. And he really wants to. So Stuttering John's doing shows in Florida, as we know now. And Opie is putting out his bid to house sit for Stuttering John while John's away.
I could chase rats. I could kill mice. I could squish cockroaches.
You're hired.
He's a Warner Brothers cat. What the fuck is he talking about?
I might have taken it out of context a little bit.
I could eat a Tweety bird. I can. What is he fucking?
I could chase a roadrunner. I could use Acme TNT. I don't know why I always go to the Stuttering John. Anyway.
I know. Even it's such a fun impression.
I can't help it. Anytime I'm saying something stupid, I just go into the John thing.
Yeah, Stuttering John.
All right, so I picked up on something with Opie. And I don't know if you picked up on this. I'd love to get E-Rock's take on it. But there's something that's going on, and I believe this has evolved. I don't think he used to do this on the O&A show. He has this cadence now. And I think it has to do with him talking by himself. He's not interesting, so he's trying to make it interesting with his cadence and with the way he talks. But I put together this super clip, and this is all just from this episode that we just listened to. He's kind of like Aziz Ansari of podcasting. And what I mean by that is, Aziz Ansari has this thing in his stand-up. And as soon as this was pointed out to me, I couldn't watch his stand-up anymore. Aziz does this thing where he's like, ba-ba-da-ba-da, and then ba-ba-da-ba-da, and da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And that's like the punchline. It's always like this build up to like the punchline type of thing. I mean, I saw Aziz after Jim Norton at this amphitheater in Toronto, and we walked out. I was like, it's not going to get funnier. It's not going to get funnier than this. So
it's not, well, first of all, the funniest thing he ever did was fish hook that girl to lube his dick, to fuck her on a granite counter.
Agreed.
When I heard that, I was just like, that's gold.
Agreed. So this is what I mean, though, by Opie is the Aziz Ansari of podcasting. He does this ramp up thing to like his high squealy voice thing. You know? So here's the examples.
And if that doesn't go, if that goes, I should say, untreated, that could be problematic in your life. And everyone was like, I don't think you have anything to worry about. But as the days went on, this damn fucking thing started spreading. And then all of a sudden, it was a bullseye. And then my doctor said, you know what, we got to put you on the, what did he put me on? The doxycycline. So the kid is fighting Lyme disease. What the fuck? Yeah, so this started with that spicy chicken sandwich that wreaked havoc on the other end of my body. And then I got the tick bite under my arm that I had to pull off. And it wasn't an easy pull off. And now I'm dealing with Lyme. The rash is kind of going away, and the bullseye is kind of going away. So there you go, man. But these ticks, they don't play. And but the problem is they're dropping ticks everywhere. I've said it. It's like writing a little message on the gas station bathroom wall while you're spraying liquid diarrhea all over the place. But they still had some good snacks after you got out of the bathroom.
This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even Uranus. Oh my God!
I start squealing. My voice goes really high, and I squeal.
Holy fuck!
Anthony, is this a new thing that he's doing? This didn't always exist, did it?
It sounds familiar in a few ways. I do remember him doing that, but not as often as he does it now.
Yeah, this is from like 10 minutes of audio. It's just constantly like this ramp up to like that. Oh my God! Hi, doggy! Like, oh Jesus Christ!
He's doing this thing that I think he thought was cute at some juncture when he was maybe in his 20s or something. A 60-year-old guy going like, I'm soaring like an eagle. Hey, doggy. You're like, what the fuck happened to you?
It was so telling. It was so telling when we listened to that episode where he's got all the Facebook group coming to Gebhard's with him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking to them, and they're talking in the troll voice.
Yeah, and they were goofing on him.
Oh yeah,
like some people were actually goofing on him.
Yes,
and he's just like, yeah, I used to be somebody, and
see,
I don't know.
He doesn't have any friends. He's hanging out with the Facebook group. Like people were saying that to his face. That's laughing so hard.
He's another guy, though, that has zero confidence in what he does. He doesn't want to do a show because then it could be held up to other shows and critiqued within those parameters. So he just doesn't do anything. He was talking about his agent, I guess, last time. And I like I said, I hear it on your show.
Yeah.
I hear about Opie from your show. And his agent said, hey, there's interest from a company.
Yeah.
But you got to get a new microphone. It's like that isn't what a company gives a shit about. They have a microphone. They have good equipment. If they think what you're doing is good, they'll hire you and put you on that.
Well, I think what the agent was saying was, could you pretend you're a professional broadcaster for just a minute while these people are checking out your show? Just pretend. Just so they might think that maybe you are still a professional broadcaster.
Yeah, he never has any material for the show.
No.
Somebody, because perhaps there might be a new Twitter account out there that Opie doesn't block. So I was able to see some of his tweets, and he put up a clip, and it was him talking about the vaccine, and it's just him chatting with the people in the chat. Like, he doesn't do a show. He doesn't sit and go, all right, here are the topics I'm going to cover today, and I'll talk. And if the chat comments on it, I might go to one of them. But he's holding a conversation with people that are just mostly fucking with him.
I have an example of this.
Yelling. Oh, you do? Good.
Yeah, so this is great. So, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, is that Opie's format is to hop on Facebook Live or YouTube or Instagram and just read chats and answer questions and whatever else is going on. And it's funny because, as we've documented, some days someone will ask about Opie and Anthony and he'll be like, oh, yeah, actually, funny story. And then other days he'll be like, why are we still talking about this? I'm not doing that anymore. Anthony, who cares? You know?
They're obsessed with me.
They're obsessed. So this is a guy who's trolling him. And I don't think this is a good show format for him because he doesn't handle it well.
No, he doesn't.
Like for me, I've been reading some of the jokes people are putting in our Discord and stuff. If someone was in here just going, Carl's a fucking fucktard, which I'm sure I'll see now over and over again, I wouldn't fly off the handle about it, you know?
No, it's what it is.
This is Opie dealing with a troll.
Well, Zen, why do you do this every day? Like you're exactly who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Why do you choose to spend your time on social media just being a complete dickwad? Like, for real, why do you choose that? He writes, 7 people drinking beer. It was more than 7 people at our private Facebook group, but we're not concerned about numbers. I'm just concerned about hanging out with damn good people.
So the guy's goofing at him because 7 people drinking beer. He goes, it was more than that. It was 11.
It was 11 people. Right.
11 people. At that point, just okay, yeah, there weren't a lot of people there.
Round to the nearest 7.
Right. There were almost 14. I don't know if you noticed that. We almost had 14 people there. But the fact that he reacts like that, Anthony, if you're going to react to trolls, you are going to get more and more trolls who want to fuck with you and get a reaction out of you. How does he not know that by now?
Just the way it works. Yeah, he doesn't. By now, this should be something he absolutely knows. But he confronts them. He has nothing. He's not quick-witted enough to even make it funny for the other people in the room.
Right.
So he just gets upset. And he knows this guy. He said, why do you do this all the time? Well, fucking block him. Block him from the room if you got a problem that he's always doing this or saying. But then there would be 6 people at the next or 10.
Another guy comes on and goes, Opie, calm down. You were a shock jock for 2 decades. You're going to have people who are going to say things like this to you. You should be able to handle it well. And Opie doesn't handle that well either.
He might just be schmucking around. Remember where you came from, man. Schmuck-a-muck, come on. You're talking about a guy that is so far removed from the Opie and Anthony years. I have no regrets whatsoever. Well, like I've talked about in the past, I probably do have some regrets if I really sat down and thought about it. But in general,
does that sound like a guy who's worked on himself? I have no regrets. Well, actually, I've suppressed everything.
I might, but I pushed him down so deep in me, and it's created so much anger, bitterness, and resentment.
Yes!
Wow.
That says it all. I have 0 regrets. Actually, I regret almost everything. I just don't think about it.
I fired that doctor.
I regret not having regrets. I should have a few. Oh, God.
So he continues on here.
But in general, I don't have regrets. But also, I guess it's the weird thing about being in the public eye. People don't allow you to change. If you come across as...
I like that Anthony snickered when he says, when you're in the public eye, it's like, well, I mean, it's been a while.
Stop it.
I don't see a lot of billboards with your face on it these days.
Yeah, there's not a line halfway around the mall waiting for you to sign something, Greg.
Yeah. You're not introducing an XFL game, Greg. Things have changed.
If you come across as a nicer individual, a nicer human being, people don't think that's possible because they remember that same person years prior.
So this is the evolving Opie. I'm not that guy anymore. This is a nice environment. We're all friends here. We're all trying to be friends. It's like the My Little Pony show all of a sudden. Is what Opie's trying to transition to.
I'm Greg, not Opie from the show.
Right.
Oh, stop. I love how he tries to wash that off of him and the stink. It just he goes, I think I got it. And then someone trolls him and he's like, fuck, I still smell it.
Yeah, no.
It's still there.
Why doesn't he just embrace it? If Opie went on and was like, yeah, I did stomp on that guy's cake and I'll do it again tomorrow. He better not fucking get another cake because I will stomp on that fucking thing. Then it'd be like, all right, this guy's fun.
Do you know Leonard Nimoy, who played Mr. Spock on Star Trek? After the original run in the 60s, during the 70s, it was terrible for him because he was just Spock. And that was it. He wrote a book called I Am Not Spock.
Right.
He did other movies where they kind of cast him in these character roles, but he was always Spock. When he embraced it, he had a whole nother career in the Star Trek movies that came up later, of course, playing Spock and making a lot of fucking money, I can imagine. He directed a couple of them. He embraced it finally and said, yeah, fuck it, I'm Spock. That's what Opie has to do. You're going to be Opie from Opie and Anthony. It's going to be in your fucking obituary. Like it's just the way it is.
Why are you obsessed with a show that hasn't been on the air in 7 years? These people are obsessed with it. It's like, Opie, that's the only thing they know. That's the only reason why they know you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be watching Greg Hughes do a random video from the beach. That's why they're asking you questions about it.
He's clueless.
And it's frustrating to people like me because if I had the name Opie and I started a podcast, he was number 2 out of the gate. People are like, oh, Opie's got a podcast. Yeah. Let's check this out. He had a huge audience that he shrunk down to 11 people at Gebhard's. That's hard to do. It's hard to be that unsuccessful in life.
It really is more difficult. You're right. It's like how they pay you money if you don't get any numbers on the lotto. You're right. If you choose enough, and it's like, well, you didn't get any, so you get your money back because it's hard to do.
He's playing Brewster's Millions with listeners. He's like, all right, here's 2 million listeners. If you can get rid of all of them, then we'll give you 30 million.
All right, let me fire up my shitty microphone and I'm on it. I got this.
I mean, actually, now that I think about it, Opie is the one trolling all of us. Opie is the one who's like, I dare you to try to watch my show or listen to my show. It's unwatchable.
It's been said that, he's got to be doing that because you would imagine a guy that was so successful in broadcasting for so many years could not possibly put out shows that are devoid of anything interesting or any humor whatsoever when you came from, what was a very funny, cutting edge show full of comics. And it astounds me. None of that rubbed off. Like Stuttering John had Howard and Jay Leno. Opie had, on just about a daily basis, some of the funniest comics ever.
Still today.
That have ever been.
Yep. Guys that you know who have only grown in their popularity since then. He should have so many connections. He should be able to do so many things. And Stuttering John, the same thing. He's talked to so many famous people from the Jay Leno show and Howard Stern. How does he have zero connections? Nobody wants to talk to these people.
He alienated everybody.
It's amazing.
Again, with the pure insecurity and, having to have something. He saw myself and Jimmy really getting along and making jokes about anything. No topic was off limits with me and Jimmy, and it's hilariously funny. And he started resenting that. And I think he wanted to show that he was still important. So he did that in throwing his authority around as, Opie. Right. And he alienated so many people. They were like, fuck you, man.
But he has no regrets, though, Anthony.
No regrets. That's right.
Could you imagine failing this miserably and having the balls to say you have no regrets? Well, then you're a moron. So that means you would do it all again, you idiot. Learn from your mistakes.
I know there's probably a regret where it's like, fuck, I should have left Sirius when they fired Anthony.
Yeah, right?
It would have been, the Opie and Anthony show. Jim Norton.
Instead, he likes to put the blame on Jim. He's like, they should have just gone and done the Anthony and Jim show. It's like, well, Jim was under contract. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, I don't blame Jimmy. Jim has his own life, his own career. He does what he is good at. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Me and Opie, on the other hand, are different, kind of a different situation. The Opie and Anthony show.
Right.
And and he talks about it enough where he couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Oh, yeah.
And he thought it was going to be like, finally, that albatross is around my neck is gone, and now I can shine for all the people to see that Opie's the guy that I'm fired. What?
Yeah, he really did let the cat out of the bag on that one because I remember listening to the show when they came back from the July 4th break after you had been fired. It was just Jim and Opie. And Opie's thing was, we 100% went to bat for Anthony. We did not want this to happen. We went to management. We did everything we could to try to get him back on the show. And now, as the years have gone by, he's admitted that the show wasn't going to go on with Anthony. They were different people. He was going to go do his own thing. He couldn't wait to try his own thing. It's like, all right, so you're a liar. You're just a pathological liar.
Yeah, he tries to make it sound like he's like Anthony did. He knew he was building a studio in his basement.
I know that's the thing.
Just about over. And I'm like, I would have fucking milked that gig for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me?
That's the insane thing. He goes, Anthony was building his own thing. He was ready to go. It's like, well, no. On SiriusXM, you talk to the entire 30 million people potentially. Yeah. It's across the country. And when you do a video on the internet, you talk to, I don't know, a couple hundred if you're having a good day.
Yeah. And it was like, I wasn't scheduling shows. I enjoyed the medium. I liked the equipment. I liked being able to build a studio. It was fun to do stupid karaoke things or have parties and just do a show with some friends. It wasn't a replacement for my fucking job that it turned into. It was like a lifeboat at that point. But Opie interpreted that as Anthony wanted to leave, him and Jimmy. I was no one. And, that's where we ended up. And again, he took an opportunity to shine. Yeah. Boom, right out the fucking door.
Yeah. What happened to Sherrod Small? I haven't seen that guy's name anywhere in a very long time. What happened to that?
No, I think you know what it is. People realize you hook up with Opie,
and
it's very quick. You realize, this guy's got issues. But like I was probably the fifth person that Opie wanted to do a team show with at BAB on Long Island.
Oh, I didn't know
There were other iterations of Anthony. They just couldn't fucking deal with that guy. And me coming from construction, I was like, he's gonna really have to fuck up for me to like leave this gig.
Yeah, the worst thing on the radio is still way better than tin knocking.
Yeah, 4 fucking hours. That's 20 hours that I'm not fucking having to deal with him.
And you have to listen to STP.
STP. Yeah, WBAB. Yeah, the home of rock and roll. Opie with you. Oh, and I was just like, oh. Even my brother, I would see my brother when we were up in Boston. I would come down, or he would come up there, and my brother was kind of like, and he didn't want to say it because he knew, things were going really well with the Opie and Anthony show. He's like, Opie's kind of a dick. and then I'm like, oh my God, yes. It just unloaded. I unloaded. Yeah, he is a fucking dick. And that's how he treated people. He treated people as subordinates. He treated the staff terribly, the crew. It was, yes, the literally finger snapping. Yo. I was like, Opie, maybe they don't like that. I don't know. I'm not trying to, make waves here, Opie.
I love it when Chip snaps at people. It's the fucking funniest thing.
Oh, I know. Chip does so many things that is pure Opie.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that Chip does that are Opie, here is a joke that Opie has, and this is very Chip-esque, I would say.
And, we live in an area where there's deer all over the place, and they look beautiful. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's that time of year, but there's a lot of baby deer. What are they called? Bambis?
Holy shit.
Baby deer are called Bambis.
Bambis?
What are they called?
So I see a little Bambi, and he's coming to the road.
All right. Last clip I have, he's doing this Manscaped read, and the copy is, I like Manscaped. They've been on our show before. This copy is atrocious. It's all about like space for some reason. I don't know. And I guess the instructions in this copy, and I don't know if this exists because I've gotten a lot of copy instructions. It's never been to like play a music bed, but I don't. Maybe that.
Oh God.
Maybe
he's
this,
trying to what?
Maybe this actually happened, or maybe Opie's just trying to have some fun with that.
And then it says insert space music here. I'm doing this from my bed right now. All right. Woo. Pew, pew, pew. Woo. That's me fighting the aliens. Pew, pew, pew.
You're a stupid dumbass.
There are a lot of ghosts in space.
Yeah, at least get a slide whistle if you're going to do that shit. Come on. Pro it up over here, Hope. What are you doing?
Holy shit.
Would you be embarrassed if you were listening to my show and you heard a clip of your show and it sounded like that?
Oh my God, yes. Pure embarrassment. He was always terrible at doing reads.
Yes.
He's like, I don't know if it was dyslexia, whatever the fuck he wanted to call it. He wasn't very good at reading. And his pronunciation of words is terrible. He makes a lot of errors. So the sponsors were always like, hey, Anthony, you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do the read. If you notice, I did all the live reads back on the ONA show. The sponsors wanted it that way. I didn't want to sit there the whole fucking time and do reads while we got breaks. I wanted to take a piss. I wanted to fucking whatever. But they made me do that. They brought me in for the sponsor meetings. It's like, oh, there's a sponsor meeting. Hey, you going to handle that? You're the one that does the reads. I don't want to. Like, yeah, I'll do that. And I went in, but he was always terrible at the reads. They were like a chore for him. So we would just read them and try to read them verbatim, and with no fun to it or no like. Look, it's a sponsor. They want you to kind of put it out there that you're a little excited about the product and you've used it, and you're not just reading a piece of paper. That's how it works with fucking sponsors.
Isn't it funny that he went to school for radio? And he brags about this all the time. He went to college, Geneseo, and studied radio and got right into radio and learned under Brother Weeze. And One of the things that I've learned from podcasting is I get radio guys like yourself and Drew Lane and Eric Zane, guys who had a career on the radio, and they're like, Carl, did you study radio? Like, no, I just listened to it. Like, it doesn't take that much to figure it out. I listen to people who are good on the radio, and I figured out how to do it.
With live reads, it was always I listened to Howard. I listened to Howard before it was syndicated.
Yeah.
Howard didn't have to worry about the parameters of the time of a read. If a read was a 30-second or a 60-second spot, he'd go sometimes for 10 minutes.
Right.
And because they didn't have to get back to any affiliates in any other state. It was New York City. That was it. So it became part of the show. And I didn't care that he went to spots because I knew they'd goof on Jackie or, it was going to be funny anyway.
Right.
So, try to do that. Try to make people, and especially with a podcast where you could fucking fast forward the shit out of a spot. You hear a guy going into a read, bam, skip 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Now you're fucking through with the read.
I literally listen to Tim Dillon's reads because they're sometimes as funny as his show.
Exactly.
People know how to do this. Opie cannot do this.
No, with a podcast, you have to do that because they can skip it. So make it a little fun. Mix it up a little bit.
Who are these podcasts?